Let's throw it back. Let's find a classic from the old BFM days.
It's time for NZ On Air Music Presents Rewind.
Tonight we're looking at Semi Lemon Cola's first hit, Happy Day. It was playlisted on BFM without the band knowing in early 1992, as the band had performed it in February of that year during the Bombathon series and had dedicated it to B. So if you really want one of your songs playlisted on BFM, maybe it's worth dedicating some songs to us live next time you do a gig. Next, you might turn around, it'll be number one on the BFM Top 10, and then you'll be rolling in those sweet APRA checks. Oh yeah. From appearing on the playlist, it stuck to the top 10 like a good bad smell and hung around the station for a couple of months after that in early 1993. Here's the chat I had with Derek Hunt, formerly the drummer of Semi Lemon Cola, who would go on to be known, the band which would go on to be known as the Propellers, as their sound moved away from the pop world. Let's see what he's got to say. Hey Derek, how's it going, man?
Yeah, not too bad.
Cool, thanks for taking the time out to call me, man.
No worries.
Cool.
No worries.
How you going?
I'm a sentimental old fool, so I like this kind of...
Well, it's great to have you along to be sentimental.
Sweet.
Now, we may as well kick it off at the start. What was it like in Semi Lemon Cola when you guys first formed in February of 1990?
It was awesome because I was 17 and I just bought a drum kit and was fortunate enough to bump into Rob and Gareth, who I kind of knew, and they could play songs I liked, and I could kind of sort of play drums, so I was pretty excited about it all.
Cool. Were you guys a covers band at the start, or were you trying to write your own songs?
We pretty much started writing our own material from the start, but the first few jams we were doing things like playing I Will Follow by U2 and She's Our Sanctuary by The Cult.
Oh, wow.
We were 80s kids, so, yeah. And, I'd literally owned a drum kit for about, I think, 2 months or something like that before the band started.
So a steep learning curve?
Yeah, no, it was like, yeah. That band was, I had training wheels on for like 9 years.
Yeah.
It was my first band.
Yeah, cool.
So, yeah. And you take everything for granted at that age as well. I had no idea. Things like walking on stage at the power station, people running to the front of the stage. I didn't realise that wasn't normal when I was 18.
Yeah, that's very exciting. I haven't seen anyone run to the front of the power station for about 10 years now.
Yeah, and I remember a show where we were on third, and like I'm not exaggerating to say that about 100 people ran from the back of the power station to the front of the stage.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was something I thought about later. Once I started, I play in Melbourne now, I'm happy with 2 people in the room. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Two's a crowd, I call it nowadays.
Yeah, 2's a crowd and 3's company.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Speaking of gigs, what are your memories of the first Semi Lemon Cola gig? I think it was in around November 1990 at the Glue Pot.
Oh, same thing again. I wrote when I was in the third form, I wrote a short story in English about loading my drums into a car to drive to rehearsal, because that's what I wanted to do. So, being 17, getting on stage at the Glue Pot was like, a dream come true for me at the time.
Absolutely, I can imagine.
Even more so now, because it's gone, it was just such an amazing venue. We used to have to hide when the police came up there for like the first 3 years. The police would come to check IDs. And of course, back then the drinking age was 20.
Yeah. Where would you hide?
There was a backstage area, so if we saw the cops come in, we'd just go out the back. But, I think the other thing too around that time was there was a lot of really interesting bands in Auckland. I'm sure there still is, but when I think of bands that I just walked up the stairs to the Glue Pot to see, didn't know about, they're all doing really interesting stuff. I think we didn't have quota back then. I think there was more of an attitude of well, you're not going to make it in the US. You're not going to do it, so you might as well try and write some interesting music. You know, that was kind of our approach anyway.
Yeah, that's a great approach to things, I reckon. Because now it's like, oh, well, if Lord could do it, so can I. And it's kind of changing the whole scene of New Zealand to a kind of more of a poppy sound, more of a let's try and sound like them.
Yeah, I've been away for 14 years, but I remember like the late 90s. I think there was something on at the King's Arms, some kind of like industry thing. And I remember I had a friend who went to it, and he was pretty repulsed when he came away from it, because his comment was that basically these musicians and one of the, you know, promoters, managers, blah, 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 were told, if you want your music to be played on the radio, listen to what we're playing now and write it that way. And, yeah, I'm not into that.
No, neither am I.
You know, like what I do now in Melbourne's like pretty heavily experimental, and it's not audience considered. You know, I don't consider audience. I just want to make interesting music, and I think there is a difference. I think some people are good at, you know, writing pop hits.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's a skill, but not one that I'm really into. I've always been into niche-based music and all that.
Yeah. So where did you guys first start recording as Semi Lemon Kola?
We were rehearsing at Frisbee. I don't know, you know that Frisbee?
That's the classic kind of original studio place up on Simon Street.
Yeah, it was up at yeah.
Cool. So,
it's on.
What are some of your favourite memories from there? Because I mean, a lot of great bands must have been around you around that time as well.
Kind of post, actually.
Oh,
like,
wow.
we were kind of around the same time. I mean, I remember the kids from nothing at all. Like, I was, you know, 17, 18. And I remember those guys were like 13. They'd occasionally they'd come into the room while we were rehearsing.
Yeah.
But we rehearsed there for a couple of years, and then we stopped rehearsing there. And around the time we stopped rehearsing there, you know, all of that sort of rock and roll
D4
stuff
and
that came out. Yeah, all those guys and nothing at all, and, you know, a bunch of other bands, Smack and Rainy Days and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, really did some really awesome stuff, you know.
Cool. What was it like working with a very young Bob Frisbee and Honest Andy? Because they're still around.
Oh, those guys are classic, yeah. I bumped into Bob over here. He was with the band a few years ago. I hadn't seen him for years, and it was great to see that he hasn't changed, you know. Yeah,
that's good to hear.
They're characters, you know. Yeah,
no, they're definitely characters of the scene and help shape the city sound, I reckon.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really passionate about it as well. You know, they basically recorded our first album called The Extended Pleasure of Reality in 1991. Well, we kind of recorded it 90 to 91. And we were very green, and I think they were at the same time. I think we started recording it on a 4-track, and then they got an 8-track. So we re-recorded some songs and stuff, and it was all very, you know, experimental, and I find it hard to listen to it, but then, you know, I was 18 at the time, so I'm not being too hard on myself.
Yeah, fair enough. You got to have a bit of a grace period, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are your memories of the band writing and recording Happy Day?
Oh, great, because we're like, you know, half a year to a year later after recording with Frisbee, suddenly we were in the lab, and there was like a, you know, purpose-built studio, and we had Matthew Heine from Spud, who I'd seen looked like, you know, he wanted someone to kill him because he was having to record this pop band. And we had Dave Renham, who does sound for Shehad now. We actually flew him up from Christchurch because we'd met him on our first tour down to Christchurch. He came up to produce it. And last time I talked to him about that, he was like, "Can you not tell anyone about that?" That was the worst thing I ever recorded. So, yeah. But then, you know, you get that. It's all poppy.
Oh, yeah, of course, sorry.
But yeah, so, no, it was a great experience. Again, you know, first. All the first.
Yeah.
And I like expectation management, you know, I kind of set like reasonable expectations. I would like to record in a proper studio, and then we did it. But that Happy Day ended up on the Good Things compilation, which came out on Failsafe in 1994, and I think we were one Auckland band amongst the amazing plethora of incredible music that came out of Christchurch and Dunedin around then. Same thing as what I was saying before, like those bands were just on the pulse of everything that was happening in the underground of the world. Some of them, I reckon, were better than, their contemporaries. Things like Love's Ugly Children.
Oh, great band.
Bands like that, just amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that track, Happy Day, came out on that, and I remember at the time, it wasn't a normal thing to see a CD. Like, our first album was, EPR was released as a cassette tape, done up at Stebbings.
Yeah.
And so for me at the time, I remember we got one copy, which I've still got, and it was like, wow, my music's on a CD. That was a real big deal.
Yeah, it would have been.
Back then.
What was it like being on Failsafe in its kind of heyday?
We weren't on Failsafe.
Right,
Rob
sorry.
just was aware of us. No, it's fine. He was aware of us, and I think he liked us enough to put us on the comp.
Oh, okay.
I remember actually the Herald did a story on it, and they used a photo of us, and I remember hearing there was a bit of a problem with that because it was like a Christchurch compilation and a
similar things are still happening with
photo.
Herald, yeah.
That sort of thing was going on. But yeah. I mean, I'm romantic about those times. I'm 42 now, so middle-aged, I think they call it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, I haven't heard of that before.
I'm supposed to be having my midlife crisis now.
No, you sound like you're doing really well. What is the project you're working over in Melbourne called?
It's called Spider Goat Canyon.
Oh, cool.
And I've been doing that for about 13 years. And like I say, it's fairly self-indulgent. We don't play music for an audience. We just like to play music. So
yeah.
I obsessively do that, and I run printing machines still, which I've always had a day job. I never gave it up.
Great.
Yeah, but it's amazing over here. It's been great. It's just so deep. The Melbourne thing, with the population of musicians and artists that are over here and that have, like myself, moved here to do it. It's, it's awesome. It's
Great.
very healthy.
Yeah, good to hear. Hey,
as long as you're happy to play to two people, It's the important thing. Two's a crowd. Never underestimate the one person you don't know in the back corner of the room.
Yeah, maybe.
Never know who that is. It could be a really important person.
Thanks so much for talking to us this afternoon, Derek. I hope it goes well. And people can find your music online, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
With everyone else's music,
With
right?
everyone else's, yeah.
That's the one.
All right, mate. Hey, take care.
Awesome, man. Cheers.
Cheers, bye.
Right. See you.
Thanks again to Derek for talking to us. That was Derek Hunt, the drummer from Lemon Kola / Propeller. Great guy, great band. Here's the song, Happy Days. Hope it brings back some good memories to some of the longer-toothed BFM listeners.
That was Rewind, presented by NZ On Air Music.